The day has finally come, ladies and gents. We have the full F1 25 game. Thank you to EA and the EA Creator Network for the early access. And today, I am allowed to share my playthrough of the first two chapters of the story mode, Breaking Point 3. If you're eagerly anticipating the start of my F1 25 My Team career mode, you guys will have to wait till Tuesday, May 27th, 4 PM. That is when Episode 1 is going to be dropping. But here we are, Breaking Point 3, diving in with the new expert difficulty for the entire playthrough. I recently uploaded full movies of my playthroughs of Breaking Point 1 and 2, so go check those out if you're not familiar. Let's dive in now with the third installment of story mode on the F1 game.
Previously, in Breaking Point.
You know, the first time you see a car, your car, alongside Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, that's what it's all about.
Aiden, listen.
Between you and me, I don't think this team is right for me.
Callie Mayer becomes the first woman ever to win the F2 Championship.
What about your dad? Has he called to congratulate you yet, Callie?
Nope. Next question.
Devon Butler now. Oh, that's not good! Oh no! Devon Butler spins! He's out!
It was his hearing. He'd been keeping it from us.
Done.
I think maybe he'd been trying to keep it from himself. So if Devon, your son, can't drive, how about your daughter?
Callie Mayer becomes the first female driver of the modern era to participate in an F1 race. Here she comes! But there's contact between the two Connosport drivers!
Aiden, are you alright? It's just another butler.
The two Connosport teammates not exactly doing each other any favours this afternoon.
What is Aiden playing at? Thought he was too good for the team. He just had a bit of an attitude problem.
Enough! It has to stop. Understand?
I must take care of the business, Kelly. Who do you think will inherit it after I'm gone?
Well, Devon, obviously. I wanted you to fight for me. He never listened to me. He always listened to you.
You know what it's like to leave all this behind, don't you?
That's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
I didn't choose this, Caspar.
I've had an entire season of you whispering in people's ears. I'm asking you to leave the meeting.
You can't be serious.
This is not your team. And after today, it might not even exist.
Coming, Devon?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might actually stay.
You all know what's at stake. If we race as individuals today, the team dies.
I'm sorry if I was ever.
I will forgive you on one condition.
What's that?
You get your share of the points.
Aiden's out! I heard.
Sure about this?
I'm sure about everything.
Is this a team order?
She's not going to make up that much ground. It can't be done. Just cruise it in, Cal. Trust me, you watch her go.
And to the checker flag for one final time. That is some race from Callie Mayer.
What an incredible performance by her today. Connosport sure will be very delighted with that one.
So that was a pretty substantial little recap of what happened last time out 2 years ago in Breaking Point 2 on F1 23. We now come to Bahrain, day 3 of the 2024 preseason testing prologue. Fresh off the nail-biting finish to their 2023 campaign, Connosport head into preseason testing in Bahrain as a clear underdog on the grid. However, the team under new management has been hard at work looking to prove their doubters wrong.
Well, here we are then, the final day of pre-season testing here in Bahrain.
It's been good, hasn't it, so far, Crofty? We've seen all the teams out there, putting in the miles, putting in the laps, and we come away from it still not knowing who's going to be the team to beat. It looks super competitive as always.
Now, you're not wrong, Ant. Red Bull and Ferrari have looked impressive, as expected, but it's Connor Sport that have really been the talk of the paddock so far this week.
Okay, Aidan, we've got some great data over the past couple of days. We're all really happy, but let's make this a big, strong finish, yeah? Right, we've gone with a brand new setup on the car here, so just use this lap to get accustomed to the changes, and once you feel like you're happy enough with everything, you can come back to the pits at any time to end the session.
So we have some pre-season testing in an F1 game inside of the story mode. Our task is pretty simple at the moment. Get accustomed to the car, to the new Connor Sport car, which is now seemingly under new management and ownership, which is Davidoff Butler, of course, the father to Devon Butler and Callie Mayer. That's going to make this dynamic very awkward, potentially, with Aiden Jackson as we go on through this session.
Oh, isn't it good to be back, Aiden? I've missed this. Yeah, you know me. Just getting back into the swing of things.
Brother, come on, you can sound a bit more excited about being back here. Come on, it's pre-season. We're hopefully going into a year where Connor Sport will be battling a bit further up the order, but Aiden Jackson so far keeping it quite mellow still, as he was in Breaking Point 1 and 2. I'm hoping maybe there's a bit more fire to come from him, and there certainly will have to be if there's a family dynamic very much so going on now with Davidoff owning this team. But we've got a new objective now to beat a time 1:34. To be fair, we've already beaten that, so this should be pretty straightforward as we navigate the first two turns. Bit of a tank slapper as we catch the car, because of course you've got to remember, this is actually genuinely my first laps of F1 25, like properly on my actual home setup where I'm most comfortable with. So just like IRL pre-season, we're gonna have to get into a rhythm.
Okay, mate, let's have some feedback on the car, please. How's it feel? Yep, sure thing. Car's feeling great.
Well, Aiden seems to think the car is feeling pretty great, and I am very happy to report, unlike last year when we got the full game, and it was a bit of a shock with the handling compared to what some of us had played really early in some like pre-builds. This still very much feels like the game I got to preview in some videos earlier in April. That it's still that happy blend of 24 and 23 handling. For me, it's a non-issue now. It's a non-talking point. I am so happy with where it is now. You've still got that responsive front end, but at mid-apex and as you're trying to balance the car through corners, it feels a lot more like 23, a bit more natural. A car that doesn't have infinite grip, and also the feeling is just consistent all round. So with more and more laps, and you'll see it in this video, by the end, I feel way more comfortable and in tune with this car.
Right, that's excellent stuff, mate. We're seeing really positive data from that run, so just when you're done, bring it back into the pits. Copy.
And with our timed objectives now met, we are invited to continue pre-season until we want to come in.
Okay, Aiden, everything's looking good so far. Car's looking great, and so do you.
Yeah, this car is a rocket ship. You guys have made a beast right here.
And I don't know about you, I'm just itching to get going, itching to maybe get into some racing, so I'm going to call it a day here. And with a lot of positive radio chatter, it seems like we really are on course to be maybe challenging for the top spots in Formula 1, as we now say hello to our familiar trio for the first time.
I've already told Casper, let the car run a little wider out of turn 4. You can really extend the track there.
I don't know. We're already pretty close to track limits at that point.
Well, you're leaving time on the table, so let's just let it run a little wide. It's all good.
But you're not the one behind the wheel, Dev.
We might be pushing our luck with the steward, so we'll have to side with Callie on this one.
Ask Casper, he'll agree with me.
Yeah, they're here now. Just give me a second. Devon, just the man. So we look through the data, and if we adjust the ERS harvesting rate, we should see some improvement on those turns.
Told you.
Right, okay, settle down. Got someone who wants to speak to you all. Right, they're listening now. Davidoff.
Good. So, as your new team owner, I thought it only right that I check up on my investments. And I'm glad I did. Casper's just filled me in on the lap times. I just wanted to say, well done. I'm impressed. But Red Bull's numbers are better, so there's still room for improvement.
Well, now we know what we're up against. I'm sure me and
Callie,
Aidan could...
don't have time to chat. All I wanted to say is that I'm expecting great things from our drivers this season. We all are. Just don't let yourselves down.
Yeah, no worries, Dad. We're all over it.
Good man. I'll fly out to Bahrain as soon as I can. Ciao.
Well, he's right, you know. With times like these, we could be real contenders this season.
Exciting, exciting times. You can see the expression on Callie's face right at the end of that cutscene, and already getting a sense of there will be some mess, though, to come, I'm sure, with the whole Butler family running affair of this Connor Sport team. But we now go into Chapter 1 proper, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Several races into the 2024 season. While still early, Connor Sport have had an encouraging start to the 2024 season. A series of impressive performances has surprised fans, pundits, and other teams on the grid alike.
We had an incredible start to the 24 season. Better than any of us could have imagined.
And do you think any of that was down to Davidoff Butler buying the team?
Undoubtedly. I mean, Davidoff had a way of pushing people's buttons to motivate them, as he would call it. Besides, both his kids were at Connor Sport, so if there were any disagreements, which there were, he could be very...
persuasive. He would always get what he wanted. Why do you think I sold the team to him at the end of 2023?
That was a very sadistic sounding laugh from Andrea O'Connor, having sold the team to Davidoff Butler. Can we just replay that again for effect? It gets worse each time you play it. I'm going to miss Andrea if he's not in the story as much. He was a funny character from last time out. But we're now here playing the role as Casper Ackerman, of course, managing the team principal. We've got this management to do, you know, in and out of races. So we've got legacy media. So Davidoff wants to schedule an advert with a watch brand for him and his 2 kids, and obviously we have to prioritize, you know, meetings for performance and stuff like that, pre-scheduled meetings for the simulator. So I would tend to go with delay. I would go with delay. We can still do it. It's still important, but let's try and delay it as we now get met with the instructions for this area of story mode, which is the hub, where we have to look at performance, reputation, and also corresponding icons for the actions we take from interviews, etc. But you can see all of that on the top right there. So focusing on that, because the higher reputation and performance we get, we kind of unlock maybe extra interview answers or maybe perks down the line in the story. But for now, we've got an incoming phone call from, of course, it's Davidoff Butler.
Davidoff.
Casper, how's everything shaping up?
Pretty good. We're just about to go over the data from FP3. I want to encourage Callie to adjust the brake balance. She's still locking up coming out of turn 7. And as for Aidan,
Good. Casper, listen, we need another strong showing in.
Of course.
Getting a great result in Ferrari homeland would show that we're serious about making the top 3.
And we are, as you know. We've delivered a good car this year, so
But there's always a better car around the corner. Stay hungry, Casper. Also, I understand my old friend Ernst has been in touch about a shoot with some watches.
Eichenberger. Yeah. But, you know, I can't allow it at this time. I mean, we're under a lot of...
No. Ernst is an old Cambridge chum of mine. It's important to me. It simply must happen. I don't want to go into why this, why that. Just do it.
Okay, I'll get it arranged.
Good man. Thank you. Now I've got some other calls to make. Talk later. Keep the pressure on.
There's something a little bit off by Davidoff so far in this story with what we've seen. He just seems a little bit off. There's something going on that we don't know yet, because even just that about not wanting to get into why, and you know, maybe he just doesn't want a confrontation and he's just trying to put his foot down as the team owner, and you know, doing his, you know, old Cambridge buddy a favor. That's very, you know, plausible. But you could also read it as there's something else there. I don't know, with either that or just how he has been so far with his management style from afar over the phone as the owner now, and obviously Casper in a very, in between a rock and a hard place there as the team principal. Obviously, I feel like at some point Davidoff, I'm going to predict, maybe wants to try and get rid of Casper if Casper is maybe trying to be the balanced team principal, and maybe Davidoff wants to favour, I don't know, Callie, or not even Callie, maybe Devin. And that's the weird thing. He would rather have Devin driving, but obviously Devin can't drive since what we know from Breaking Point 2. So, yeah, a lot of questions to be answered, and that's the beauty of a story mode like this. But you saw as I was talking through that side of things, there's obviously some news articles to flesh out the world we're in of this alternate F1 timeline with Connor Sport as a team on the grid. We've got social media posts back, and your boy is back in the F1 game, tweeting or Xing about the goings-on of Connor Sport as per usual, along with some fellow creators and other F1 pundits and broadcasters alike in the social feed to give you that immersion of a different world of Formula 1. And then with that, the third little tab we've got over here is emails as well, just giving you some extra context to some things. There might be a few little nuggets of gold sometimes down the line in this story from these emails, but at the moment it's pretty bog standard stuff. Devin Butler, team liaison, much liaising happening, I'm sure, and he's probably just prodding and prying us, as Casper right now, and I'm sure Aiden and Callie Mayer either way, as we're now going to click through into the race for Imola here in Chapter 1. And for the first time, we are met with the decision of which driver we're going to play as. Because unlike in Breaking Point 2, where it was decided for you, each chapter you can decide whether to drive as Callie Mayer or Aiden Jackson. And that decision will change the objectives for you in that race. I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree, Aiden got pushed to the side very much so, I felt, in Breaking Point 2. He also was written as a bit more of an arse in that second story on F1 23. So I'm going to choose to play as Aiden in this first chapter, and I'm hoping we can, have a bit of a redeeming, storyline for him maybe in Breaking Point 3, and maybe, we can redeem him a little bit with our driving as him in this first Imola Grand Prix. And I feel like maybe it'll be better to choose Callie down the line in the middle of some juicier chapters where maybe the family dynamics are at play. So we head into Imola then, mid-race, driving as Aiden Jackson. With the race in full swing, Aiden Jackson sets his sights firmly on challenging the race leaders.
What a great battle down the straight here at Imola. There's not much space between Red Bull and Connor Sport, and there's contact and into the gravel. Jackson's off, Verstappen's unaffected, and he races on ahead.
Verstappen definitely benefits from that one. Was there room for it though? I'm not too sure.
Everything okay, Aiden?
Not happy.
Yeah, well, it looks like you've escaped unscathed. Now head down and let's go, yeah?
Of course, Max Verstappen hit us off. Who else is it going to be? And it's quite funny, actually. We're here at Imola, and it's that same corner where going into the real-life Imola Grand Prix just gone, people thought maybe there might be a little bit of funny business between Piastri and Verstappen, and in fact, Verstappen just absolutely rinsed him around the outside. Well, I'm hoping we can maybe emulate that and rinse him around the outside if we catch back up to him. Right now, though, our eyes are focused on Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari here in P6. The objective, though, the highest objective is finishing third or above. That has got to be our target. I'm going to be consistently trying to aim for the purple objective in this story, of course, as we navigate some back markers, slows the Ferrari up. We use overtake mode and get through on the Ferrari. It's going to be wheel to wheel. He's on the hard compound of tyre, though, so we have that extra grip. We've got plenty of battery just coming in to this mid-race scenario, so we use plenty of it to get past the Ferrari. And now Verstappen is next up, and you just gotta know, you know the score here. When we play as these story characters, I like to get proper into it. Let's role play as them, and let's cause a bit of chaos, you know. I feel like Aiden, from what we've seen in Breaking Point 2 in the last story mode, he would like to give a bit of the medicine back to Max Verstappen if that did happen to him. So we're just trying to catch the back of Verstappen. We lost his rear end a little bit with my own lock-up into the second last corner as we get used to the slightly different braking on F1 25 to 24. Definitely seems a little bit more sensitive maybe for the lock-ups, but equally also you can control them quite smoothly as Verstappen makes quick work of Callie Mayer as we give her a little love tap on the rear end and go for the move. She's gonna make it easy enough as we still have to commit to the inside there, but it's an easy swap for teammates. Good to see there's no tension as it stands at this early point in the story between ourselves and Callie Mayer, but there certainly might be tension coming up between ourselves and Max Verstappen as we try and look to get up into P4 and then obviously P3 ahead Piastri. That's the minimum objective, but is there enough time? Look at the minimap for maybe getting up to second, nay, even first place. That would be a pretty great start to this story and one way to solidify Aiden Jackson's start to the 2024 season here in game as we've got a bit of battery use going on into the last sector just to really close up. I'm going to try and be a bit more measured on the brakes, ease it in, get to that apex this time and tuck up right underneath the rear wing of the Dutchman. Joe Guan Yu with blue flags. Is there going to be any funny business here? Is Joe going to get out of the way? Well, we're going to commit to the inside for this very subtle turn one and we make the overtake. Verstappen boxed in on the left, but we still want to exact a bit of revenge. We go to the inside and on purpose go wide and we completely give Verstappen his own medicine. It's a copycat of what happened in the cutscene introing into this race. Here's a little replay. Oh no, just a bit of understeer there. Sorry, Maxi boy. I've got to say though, by the way, the replay cameras and the general graphics of this game, by the way, are genuinely, it's taken a step up. We've dropped the old gen. My PC is beefy enough where I can run path tracing, the maximum you can do in the lighting department with ray tracing. So especially running on my PC, I've got to admit, F1 25 visually is actually looking like a great step up. It does look really good. As for the topic of AI, that will be very hard to tell inside of Breaking Point 3 because generally speaking, even this hardest difficulty is probably not going to be really up there with what I would normally face in my team career mode. So it's going to have to wait till that Tuesday upload to really get a first inkling and a first proper chat with you guys about my thoughts on the AI, because we've made swift work of Oscar Piastri and now closing up to Leclerc as we get on towards the last lap of this Imola GP, and I think it'll be an easy pass on the Ferrari, so much so that we probably don't need to use that much battery. The DRS and just a little bit of deployment should be enough just to get it as close. The Ferrari keeps tight to the inside line. We go round the outside and we're brave enough to get to the apex first and aggressive over the next complex of corners to try and catch up to Sergio Perez, because we are sniffing a race win here last minute. We actually bump up the ERS to hot lap mode as the default and then using overtake to get that extra booster as we go through Aqua Minerale, squirreling away on the rear end, pushing the limits of the Connor Sport car, driving as Aiden Jackson. It's been a stellar start for him and the team in 2024, but can we do better? Can we get a race win here at Imola and beat the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes? We get through the last two corners. It's a last sector overtake for P1 for Aiden Jackson here in the first race here in Breaking Point 3.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Woo! Come on! Yes! Yes! Got to say, it's been another good day for Connor Sport today. A string of positive performances recently has seen them establish themselves well and truly ahead of the midfield.
Yeah, they're in the top three now, Crofty. A great season so far, and I've been really impressed with both Mayer and Jackson.
I don't think you're the only one there, Ants. We'll be watching their season with interest. Well, Connor Sport are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
And by getting on the podium, it's a first chance to see the new angled podium scenes at the end of every race with some slightly more dynamic shots, let's say, kind of, you know, mimicking a cameraman actually being up there on the podium filming, getting some other shots, you know, a big shot of the crowd invading the track there here in Imola, and probably cheering more for Leclerc in third place, but I'm sure also cheering for the little guy, Connor Sport, on the top step of the podium. A win with Aiden Jackson. That's got to go a long way as we now go into the post-race media pen interviews, and for the first time seeing that all-new NVIDIA audio-to-face technology.
Aiden, what a battle with Max out there today. How did you find it?
I found it satisfying at the end, I gotta say, but it's not about him. I'm gonna go with it's not about him. I think that's the diplomatic answer.
Yeah, it's, to be honest with you, it's not about him. You know, of course he's tough, but I've got to maximise my performance out there no matter who I'm up against. The car is good. It's as good as it's ever been. And, you know, if I can get the most out of it, then I can take on anyone on this grid, which is a great feeling. And, you know, it's a great feeling to come out on top in a battle like that. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter who the people in the other cars are. I'm really just competing with myself.
You're now third in the Constructors. That's the best start to a season the team has ever had. So, what do you put it down to?
Yeah, I think it highlights the ambition at Connorsport in general. You know, a lot of that starts with the new owners, and they've been really involved, keeping everyone focused, and we're all pushing harder. Casper's obviously been guiding us through the challenges of every race and, you know, making those calls when it matters. But there's a lot that goes into competing at this level. But, you know, you don't have that much hope without the right people in charge, and thankfully we do.
Do you feel like you're sending a message to the rest of the grid with these kinds of results?
Absolutely. That's why we're here, to take the fight to the big teams. We're more than just a new team. We're not just here to make up the numbers. We're here to compete with the best. And that's always been the case. And it's really great that the results are finally beginning to reflect that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So you saw there were a few answers we could give because of the level of performance and reputation we had. Some that were locked away as well. Generally speaking, played the diplomatic card there and just trying to keep things open. You know, it's early days in this season as we now go to post-race here from Imola. A racing incident between himself and Verstappen aside, Aiden Jackson puts in a fantastic performance in Imola, managing to salvage the race for another impressive finish for Connor Sport.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes.
Devon.
Hey, Dad. Just congratulating the guys on a job well done.
There was no time for that. We all did well. How are preparations coming on for Monaco?
I'm sure everything's in hand.
Listen, Devon. We don't have time to rest on our laurels. I want the race data analysed and full diagnostic reports on Casper's desk before we begin packing down. Listen, you've dropped the ball on this one. You cannot take your foot off the gas, not when Connorsport is this close to success. I expect you to take charge. Show the team what a leader is.
Yeah, well, it's a bit difficult, that, Dad. I'm team liaison. Basically, I pass notes between departments, not exactly leadership material.
Devon, you have got to focus on the bigger picture. Casper.
Devon, can you give us a minute? Just need to talk to your father.
Yeah, sure thing, boss. I'll just go and liaise, yeah?
David, why so full on?
Just trying to motivate him, is all. He needs to stay focused.
Yeah, I'm talking about the team. They've just had a fantastic result and you're... Just give them some space to simmer down, to celebrate.
Of course. You're right. But we cannot lose momentum now, Casper. Everything must be in its place.
What are you planning?
What do you mean?
I've seen that face before. I mean, whatever it is, just keep me informed. I don't want any nasty surprises.
I'm just looking out for my family, that's all.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there is something sus going on with Davidoff Butler in the background. There's some context we're missing. Also, that's a very harsh management style. You know, the team just won the race, and you're going, nah, no rest, no celebration, debrief straight away. Just come on, man. Right, phone call.
Davidoff, hi.
I missed you just now, Aiden. Some race out there.
Yeah, thanks. It was a decent performance.
Decent? It was more than just decent, Aiden. Those are the kind of performances that win titles.
Yeah, you know, that's what we're aiming for.
Exactly. And, I think there's another steak night.
You know, you don't have to take me out for steak every time I have a good race.
Indulge me, Aiden? Callie won't ever accept, and I see far too much Devon as it is.
All right, Davidoff. That's very kind.
Good, thank you. There's a place called Giovanni's not far from the hotel. I'll see you there at 8.
Thanks, Davidoff.
Ciao.
And once again, Davidoff always surprises me. I honestly think he's a very well-written character because he's just so different with Aiden. And as we saw at the end of Breaking Point 2, that's his game. He is a master at manipulating and playing the people around him to do what they need to do to then benefit his overall objective. So he is playing Aiden really well in the same way he's probably playing Devon. He's played Casper and playing Callie at the same time. And obviously Devon knows how to play Callie, brother and sister. He knows how to play her, as we saw in the finale of Breaking Point 2 when he was able to, you know, reignite some flames in the Abu Dhabi race at the finale of that entire story. So I'm sure we'll see that again. But going through the various social media posts, just seeing what the reaction is. We've got plenty of media requests apparently after that impressive performance we put in. We've got a little note about the engine supplier. Maybe some upgrades coming in for reliability. So maybe was that a problem for us in the first few races pre-Imola? I wonder, is that maybe why that's kind of having to be a separate email, or is that just something, you know, after our good work they've decided to bring that in? And then suggestions with no capitalization. Brilliant, Devon, brilliant. Obviously some notes, because it could always be better according to him. Of course it can, of course it can. As we now cross into chapter 2, it's now the Austrian Grand Prix mid-race as the paddock heads to the picturesque Styrian Mountains for the Austrian Grand Prix. Both Jackson and Mayer are hoping to maintain the team's momentum deeper into the season. So that looks and sounds like in this chapter we might be driving as both drivers at some point in this race, potentially even. And this is in the context of, you know, Davidoff applying the pressure, wanting the team to still do well. There's maybe something going on there. He's maybe trying to plan something, I don't know, it seems, or get Devon in line. My theory is actually, by the way, from what we've seen, I reckon he's trying to line up Devon to take over as team principal, and he's going to try and oust Casper at some point. Or maybe there's something just other going on there with the Butler family. I don't know. We have not heard too much from Callie Mayer, so this might be a first inkling to see where she is standing in context of all of this in the season so far.
Excellent start, Aiden. Now's our time to push. Come on. Copy that.
So we're starting off this chapter in this race. Driving is Aiden Jackson. I suspect there will be a swap at some point in this race where we drive as Callie Mayer, as there was no decision to be made on who we choose to drive as Callie Mayer, speaking of, sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. She's a bit further down the order, though, I can see. Not on the mini-map anywhere to be seen at the moment, as our objective is to overtake Norris before lap 13. And I just glimpsed Callie's dots on the mini-map just before in that clip. Definitely down the order, maybe even outside the top 10 just about, as we make quick work of Leclerc with DRS into turn 1, though. The Ferrari, actually, to my surprise, comes back at us a little bit, so we have to go defensive into turn 1, then setting our sights on Russell, pushing off that corner with good speed. Russell, where is he going to park his car? He's on the inside right now. We're going to fake from the left to right. He thought we were going to the outside. We commit to the inside, bang tyres just a little bit, but Russell does not give us the squeeze, thankfully. early, and we make the pass up into P3 as it is now, and catching up to Verstappen and Lando Norris. So the target is P1 then, so we're carrying on the good work, and now even the story itself is putting the objective as P1 here, as we look to pass Verstappen, who is definitely going to be a harder pass than most, as he brake checks us a little bit almost into the middle of turn 1, doesn't give us any room to work with on the right as he gives us the squeeze, and we would have been on the grass. Instead we go to the outside, try and go for the little switchback, but I actually get my braking a little bit messed up. We go deep into the corner, doesn't matter though, we actually do Verstappen round the outside, and now we are here behind the McLaren for that P1 overtake. The objective, we have completed it 2 laps early onto a lap 11. I suspect we're about to roll in to a transition.
Some brilliant laps out there at the Red Bull ring today, especially from our race leader, Aiden Jackson.
And his teammate, Mayo, is making up ground out there as we speak.
An impressive overtake on the cards. Is it? Is it? Yes, it is! Mayo moves another place closer to her teammate in first.
Aiden's in first. Copy that. Aiden is in first. Can I catch him? Let's go and find out, mate. Come on. I can catch him.
A very familiar racing spirit there from Callie Mayer on the team radio. You tell her, oh, can you do it? And she's like, I can do it, trust me. So just need to motivate her in a different way, it seems, to Aiden Jackson. He needs to feel a bit more comfortable with the situation, it would always seem. But the updated objective then, driving from Mayer's perspective, is to win the race. So this is an important moment, as she will have to pass, all these cars and then overtake our own teammates for the win of this race. Is this going to be the beginning of something maybe between our 2 drivers in Connor Sport, I wonder, as we make quick work of Russell and Leclerc in quick succession. And I'm driving almost with the same haste I feel Callie Mayer would be driving with at this point, as we chuck it down the inside of Lando Norris there. Very impatient to get moving. I feel like we definitely probably could have been patient and made that move elsewhere, but I thought in this sort of situation, Mayer has got to be, gunning for it, bit between her teeth, maybe a little bit of doubt from the radio about if she can do this, so that will spur her on just to make these incredibly aggressive overtakes, to then chase after Jackson and prove something to the team, prove something to the engineer, to herself, to her father maybe, as we try and go for the move of Verstappen. Verstappen comes back at us in the brake zone. Once again, I try and fail to pull off the little switchback there, as Verstappen is, actually placing the car very well. I wonder if that's actually the AI actually, doing quite well to stop the switchback working and kind of slowing up on purpose to park the car on the apex, or maybe I'm just giving them a bit too much credit, as we now launch it down the inside of Aiden Jackson. We just about slow it down. Lock up on the front right. I'm not going to lie, that wasn't a planned overtaking attempt, but it's now going to turn into one as we bang tyres. Aiden, tyre on the grass. Things getting a bit frosty between the Connor Sport teammates, but Mayer, we're going to pull off this overtake for her and get up into P1 of the Austrian Grand Prix, and we're going to drive off into the distance, as that is the objective, and we lock in for that objective. It's now lap 18, rounding the final bends, the fastest lap, nearly 10 seconds gapping Jackson.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Yes!
In a league of their own today, and what a day for Connor Sport.
It really is, Crofty. There'll be people out there wondering when was this team going to slip up, but so far they haven't. It's been a great performance from both of their drivers.
And that performance puts them in second place in the Constructors' Championship, within striking distance of Red Bull. Can they top the table? Well, with performances like that, I'd say they could. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst that Connor Sport team. And they certainly deserve it.
And now an opportunity to take on the interviews from Callie's perspective for the first time.
Callie, congratulations on first place today. How do you feel?
Well, we've got that level 3 unlocked, so we'll use that.
Thanks, I feel good. I'm feeling more and more confident with each race, and I felt in control from start to finish out there today. And this is exactly where we want to be. Not just fighting for the podium, but fighting for the outright win. it just proves to me that I can be out there beating the best, and it proves to the team we've got what it takes to compete at the highest levels of the sport.
You had to go through your teammate to secure victory today. So come on, what was it like taking on Aiden out there?
Now, this is a very interesting question. Maybe a bit of diplomacy needed.
Well, Aiden and I are good friends off the track these days, and I'm always aware when it's him out there. I'm never going to be too aggressive with Aiden in a situation like that, just in case I hurt the team's chances. So I'd honestly rather it was Max or Sergio, but, you know, you've got to push regardless of who's in front of you.
Well, today has moved Connor Sport up to second in the table for the first time ever. But can you sustain this level throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, we're not just going to sustain this level. The goal is to improve it. We've worked too hard to get here just to let it slip now. We're not going to reach second place and be content. We've got to capitalise on this momentum and keep pushing and aim for the top. And honestly, I think days like today show that we've got what it takes to get there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, we've been very diplomatic so far. No tensions or anything. You know, a little bit of a white lie that they're mates now at this point. Austrian Grand Prix post-race then. Our dominant performance from Connor Sport at the Red Bull Ring has served to silence any remaining doubters regarding the team's current pace amongst the Formula One's elite. But with a target now firmly placed on their backs, how will the team respond?
Thank you for staying behind. Connor Sport's flying this season, flying. We're one place behind Red Bull. But it's a long season. I won't be around for a race or two. I have a bit of business I can't avoid. So I thought we'd get together and make sure that you understand what I expect from you in my absence.
Well, you said it yourself. We're flying, right? So we just keep doing what we're doing.
No. Look, if we're to catch Red Bull, take Connor Sport to the next level, each of you is going to have to step it up. Devon, you need to take charge more. You're a butler, a man of action. You need to start acting like one.
What's Casper said about that?
Callie, in my absence, follow Devon's lead, no arguments.
Finally.
Casper will be calling the shots, as usual. But Devon speaks for me. Is that clear?
Sure, no problem.
So, when we reach the top of the table, Connor Sport will no longer be the hunter, but the hunted, and every team will be gunning for you. So, Aiden, if there are any disagreements anywhere in the team, don't be afraid to step in. Casper is going to be coming under increasing stress over the next few races. I need to make sure there's someone there with a cool head, able to smooth things over. And to keep half an eye on these two. Now, does everyone understand what I want them to do? Have I made myself clear?
Crystal. Of course.
Sure.
Good. I think we're done here. Remember what I said? You can close the door on your way out.
Wow, okay, that was a lot to digest in that scene. A lot to digest. A fairly lengthy cutscene, I think you'll admit. So there definitely is something going on with Davidoff, whether it's other business, maybe some sort of medical issue that he's hiding. I get a tinge of that. I suspect that more than some sort of business or related thing. And clearly then trying to groom Devon Butler to take over that role by saying he basically talks for him, and then very, very dismissive of Callie by saying, you know, you just answer to Devon, basically, no ifs or buts, and then playing Aiden in front of their eyes by saying, you know, you're going to keep them in check, though. And so trying to balance act everything. And then I got to say, I just feel sorry for Casper because he has no idea any of this is happening, seemingly. I don't know. Interesting. Very, very, it was very telling. Just the tension in the air there of something clearly being hidden And I'm just intrigued to learn more as we go on through more of this story, of course. But let's round out Chapter 2 here then with a phone call from an unexpected mother to Callie Mayer.
Mum. Congratulations, Cal. I was screaming at my TV.
All nice things, I hope.
You are the best driver on the grid right now. There, I've said it.
Thanks, Mum. How's everything?
Oh, well, funny you should ask. I've just had a call from your father.
You answered?
I suppose I was curious.
What did he want?
Well, he called to talk about you. Isn't she doing well, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then he wished me well. And he said he had to take another call, and he went.
Weird.
Has he mentioned me at all?
I mean, we don't really talk.
No. Of course you don't. Sorry. Suppose not. Anyway, darling, well done again. I'll let you go, sweetie.
Bye, Mum.
Again, odd behaviour. Even Callie and her mother think the same thing. There is weird is the word they used. Davidoff being nice to, you know, his ex-wife. You know, this... You don't have that kindness unless you have a medical issue, I think. That gives you perspective. Maybe. That's how I'm reading it. Let me know what you guys make of it in the comments below. I reckon he's working through some sort of health issue, maybe in the background, and he's lining things up to get Devon in there. He's being nice to his ex-wife, wandering, being nice about Callie behind her back. I don't know. But we've got some emails also from Ben Hicks now, from Callie's perspective, PR manager clearly of some kind, or most more Asian actually, it says on the bottom there. So plenty of new stuff coming in for her schedule. Casper was very, very congratulatory. But as I just went through the call history, there you can see it. Weird is the word, I would say, is definitely on point with Davidoff Butler's behavior. So a very intriguing first two opening chapters of Breaking Point 3 leaves us with a lot of questions, which is exactly what you want in a story mode, and this was a really great first way to kick off the story mode series on this channel. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button. Like I said, episode 1 of My Team Career Mode will be dropping on Tuesday, and then from Wednesday onwards, you'll be seeing some Breaking Point 3 episodes every other day in a kind of more organized pattern, basically consistently on the channel. So get subscribed for all that good stuff if you are new around here, and I'll catch you guys around. Goodbye.